Today, we are going to focus on the lies that are being pushed on you by the Democrats when it comes to the economy. I mean, they can't help it themselves, right? So I have a couple of questions for you. All right? Have you filled your gas tank lately? Have you gone grocery shopping? What does your electric bill look like today compared to, say, a year ago or 2 years ago? What about rent? Or did you have an adjustable rate mortgage? Yeah. Have you gone to a restaurant? I ask you these things because if you've done any of those things, you certainly know it's all sky high compared to the last day President Trump was in office. And you know it's not going to get much better in the months ahead. And in fact, it could get a whole lot worse. And that's why I have to spend my time today making sure you understand that not only are we technically in a recession, nearly 60% of Americans are now living paycheck to paycheck. And despite all of that, the border remains open to anyone who wants to walk in and claim they're being abused somewhere else and must stay here. We don't have the resources to go around right now to keep Americans from struggling to keep up, not to lose the house or the car, or to have enough money to feed themselves and a couple of kids. Food banks and homeless shelters are already stretched to the limit today. And that's because the government's failing you. So what are we going to do when it gets worse? What are you going to do? Yesterday, we learned the GDP was down for the second quarter in a row, and that means we're in a recession, technically, or in reality. But the fact of the matter is the president and everyone on his team wants to mansplain to you how the economy is actually great. And if it's not, well, it's not their fault anyway. Of course, it'd be the fault of Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump and 1,000 other little dwarfs and goblins and other things that they can make up and conjure in their brains. Because nothing is ever their fault. But the fact of the matter is this. When Joe Biden stumbled into the Oval Office, he walked into an economy that was in good shape and rebounding quickly from the pandemic. He walked into a country where the vaccines were available and being distributed widely, and he accelerated the program. Now, the vaccines didn't turn out to be very effective. Many people ended up refusing them altogether, and good for them. I support their freedom. But Joe Biden, instead of embracing what was already an economy on the comeback trail, he reverted back to Agenda 2030, like the Democrats do. They reverted back to a world where there will be no cars, red meat will be a luxury, people are controlled, and everything else is run from the center. That's where we are. I'll get more on that in just a second and explain what I mean. But let's start here. Joe Biden bragging on how he will run the economy forever by giving away government money by the truckload. He'll be ruining the economy, no question about it. This is long. But in order to understand where we are, you have to hear this. Listen.
Prescription drug prices, which means seniors and consumers will pay less for their prescription drugs. Medicare will save in the process about $290 billion. And in addition, it also changes the circumstances for people on Medicare by putting a cap of a maximum $2,000 a year. They have to pay no more than $2,000 a year, no matter how many prescriptions they have, for all the prescription drugs, which is especially important for people with cancer and long-term diseases. It's a godsend. It'll literally be a godsend for many families. Second, the bill locks in place lower health care premiums for the next 3 years for millions of families that get coverage under the Affordable Care Act. They will mean an average savings of $800 a year for 13 million people. Third, it invests $369 billion. Granted, I call for 500 plus, but it invests $369 billion to secure our energy future and to address the climate crisis, bringing down family energy bills by hundreds of dollars by providing working families tax credits. It gives folks rebates to buy new and efficient appliances, to weatherize their homes, and tax credits for heat pumps and rooftop solar. It also gives consumers a tax credit to buy any electric vehicle or fuel cell vehicle, new or used, and a tax credit for up to $7,500 if those vehicles were made in America. This investment in environmental justice is real. It also provides tax credits that will create thousands of good-paying jobs, manufacturing jobs, on clean energy construction projects, solar projects, wind projects, clean hydrogen projects, carbon capture projects, and more by giving.
How much money did he give away there? It was ridiculous. I mean, you've got subsidies and payments and electric cars and projects and utility bills and jobs for everybody. And good God, I mean, honestly, Lennon just blushed in his grave. No, not John Lennon, the other one. Anyhow, so that's where we are. Refusing to understand the mathematics, the economics. These people are mathematically illiterate. Illiterate. I mean, how much money did we just see given away? There's Joe Manchin for you. Congratulations, Joe. You're plowing under the good people of West Virginia. Nicely done. Joe Manchin will never get elected to be dog catcher in West Virginia after this. Very unpopular now. And by the way, it's not a recession, of course. And we'll dig through what the president said there about all these giveaways. The only chance we have is that the Republicans in Congress say, no, we're not spending. Congress has the purse strings. It doesn't matter what these fools try to push through. If it's not funded, it's not funded. If Mitch McConnell can block Merrick Garland, certainly Republicans controlling the House can block stupid spending on pet projects and pork barrel nonsense. I mean, I've got to believe that at least, right? Okay, so it's not a recession. It's a transition. That's what they're saying now. It's not a recession. It's a transition. This word transition into what? Permanent poverty? Thank you, Democrats, for mansplaining it again. Listen.
That's not the
No.
That's not the technical definition.
In terms of the technical definition, it's not a recession. The technical definition considers a much broader spectrum of data points.
That is not the actual definition of a recession. It is a significant contractionary period over a few months.
It is the actual definition of a recession, by the way. 2 quarters of negative GDP is the actual technical definition of a recession, always has been. And I can guarantee you this, boys and girls, if it were Donald Trump in the White House, they'd have been screaming it was a recession 6 months ago. But these fools in the media are so inverted, cranial rectal inversion, that they can't seem to see the light of what the truth is. That's why you're here. I'm going to take a break here on the Steve Gruber Show. We're going to continue down the gaslighting trail from the left in just a moment. Don't go anywhere.